Yeah, awesome crowd. How many of you guys here, this is your first time at Hospital Christian Fellowship? Welcome, awesome. Welcome to our family here. And so I wear multiple hats. I am down the road in Irvine. I'm the Chief Medical Officer for an organization looking for a cure for Alzheimer's. We do clinical trials. You guys are familiar with clinical trials? Looking for ways to remove the plaque that is part of Alzheimer's. We also have other types of clinical trials to improve circulation to the brain and different techniques that are being done. And we are working on specifically on Alzheimer's simply because it's an epidemic, especially in Orange County. Did you know that in Orange County, Alzheimer's is the #3 cause of death? And so, #1 is heart attacks. Does anyone know #2 cause of death?
Accidents?
Drug overdose. I heard strokes, accidents. I was asking this question the other day at one of my lectures, the #2 cause of death. And there was a gentleman sitting there with his wife, and he yelled out, marriage. I don't think he made it home. I saw his wife go like this. Yeah. How many here are nurses? Okay, we're outnumbered. So awesome. I'm just curious, are you in the hospital? Are you in the outpatient setting? Hospital? Which hospitals?
Saddleback.
Saddleback? How many here are from Saddleback? Okay. What about Mission Hospital? Where's everyone else from?
EHP, partial hospitalization program.
Partial hospitalization programs? Oh, okay. San Diego City College. Los Alamitos Hospital. St. Joseph, okay. Chalk. Kaiser, Anaheim.
Bright Star Care.
Bright Star Care. Oh, home health, okay. Okay, home health. Hogue, all right.
I'm actually from Northern California, from Ordell Hospital, and I do home health there.
Northern California Home Health, awesome. Vitas Hospice, yes. Awesome, okay. Very neat.
I'm retired, and I'm sure many of you are, and I run a nonprofit.
Oh, retired running a nonprofit, awesome. What nonprofit do you run?
Alliance for Life.
Alliance for Life. Awesome, wow, very well representative with the different organizations and hospitals. Yeah, I'm actually a public speaker. This is my second talk today. Yeah. Have you heard of the Barnabas Group? I spoke at Barnabas this morning, and this afternoon I'm speaking out in, I think, Rancho Santa Margarita. So I have about 200 events this year. And my primary mission is education. Education is what I do. And I go to educate, for example, today we're educating on Alzheimer's, and in another hour we're talking about weed and different topics. We are out there just educating the public on different health prevention lectures is what I do. And so, when I was in Vietnam a month ago with Melody, I was out there speaking to the north, actually it's not north and south anymore. I was up in Hanoi speaking at a hospital about Alzheimer's prevention. And so we do a lot of education is what I do. And that's my passion, my mission. I've taught medical students at UC Irvine and residents for about 15 years. And I was a professor out there before becoming more of a missionary is what I do now, medical missions. And we'll talk to you more about that later on, today and tomorrow. We have a team heading out, our tongue out team's heading out to Peru this Saturday. And we're doing some work there. And we were in Vietnam last month. And other countries and things of that sort. But for now, Alzheimer's. Why is it the third leading cause of death in Orange County? Any guesses, any thoughts about this? It's an epidemic. Why?
They're living long enough to get it and die.
We're living long enough to get it and diet. Okay. Both true. Both true.
Lack of exercise.
Lack of exercise? Okay.
It's a lifestyle.
Lifestyle. How many of you guys say lifestyle plays a big role with Alzheimer's? How many of you guys say genetics play a big role as well? How many of you guys know there's a gene for Alzheimer's? Anyone know the name of that gene? It's the ApoE4 gene. Close, close. ApoE4. It's APO letter E number 4. That is a gene that is linked to Alzheimer's. And you know what the scary thing is? The scary thing is 1 out of 4 of us have this gene. Look to your left, look to your right. 1 out of 4 of us. Right? 1 out of 4 of us have this gene. And it's really easy to check. It's really easy to check. Have you heard of 23andMe?
Yes.
If you've done 23andMe, that test is in there. Did you realize that? That test is in 23andMe. How do I know? I get patients coming to me, panic. I just did 23andMe. It shows I have Alzheimer's in my future. And so we help them out with that. But yeah, 1 out of 4 of us. And it doesn't mean that if you have the gene that this condemns you to the diagnosis, okay? If you have the gene, it doesn't condemn you to this diagnosis, but it does raise your risk for the diagnosis. Why doesn't it condemn you to the diagnosis? Because lifestyle plays a role. What we eat, what we don't eat, whether we exercise or not, right? It all plays a role. If you don't have this gene, it doesn't guarantee that you won't get this diagnosis either. Why is that? Because lifestyle plays a role. Our lifestyle plays a huge role with that. And so yeah, genetics play a role, lifestyle plays a role. By the way, is there a cure for Alzheimer's? How many medications are there FDA approved for Alzheimer's? Anyone know?
1, 2.
I heard 1, I heard 2, and I heard 4. I heard Namenda. What else? Aricept. What else? Exelon. Yes. What else? Yeah. There's Aricept, which is donazepam, right? There's Namenda, which is memetine. There's Exelon, which is rivastigmine, right? Does anyone know the 4th?
Tacrin.
Tacrin. There's a 4th that is FDA approved that we can actually write a prescription for. Okay, well, we're just going to keep that a mystery. It's not fun if I give you all the answers. So, yeah, there's 4 FDA medications approved. Does anyone know when the last medication was approved for Alzheimer's? What's the name of the last medication approved for Alzheimer's? Namenda. Namenda was the last medication FDA approved for Alzheimer's. What year was that approval?
2000.
2003. We have not had anything new for Alzheimer's since 2003. Is that not crazy? Do you know why it's an epidemic now? We don't have anything. If you saw me in 2003, I have the same prescriptions as I do now. Isn't that crazy? How many years has that been? 2003, 2019, 16 years, nothing new. Why is there nothing new? Why is there nothing new? It's been 16 years. Isn't that scary?
It's not profitable.
Not profitable? Not enough research? Actually, no, there's a lot of research.
Not enough money.
You can't figure the initial cost.
The initial costs, right?
Downstream, but you can't figure all the triggers.
Can't figure out the triggers? This is why I'm here today. I'm here today because there isn't a cure. I'm here today because there's almost 100,000 patients diagnosed walking around in Orange County. Right? The latest figure is like 84,000, but that's like years ago. Right? You add that to the next Now I think we're closer to 100,000 patients diagnosed with Alzheimer's in Orange County. And you know what the scary thing is? There isn't 100,000 nursing home beds for what's coming. Think about that. Think of the next 5 to 10 years. There isn't 100,000 nursing home beds for what's coming. We have a tsunami coming of Alzheimer's patients. We don't have the nursing home beds because eventually everyone ends up bedbound, right? Once you get to the later stages. That's a scary part, guys. By the way, you notice there's a table here that says Alzheimer's Orange County. Awesome organization. I'm on the board. Actually, we're in the same office, we're in the same building in Irvine. Alzheimer's Orange County is dedicated to taking care of Alzheimer's patients and their families and their loved ones. We have support groups, over 40 support groups at no cost. We have one-on-one counseling, we have classes, most at no cost. If you need help, we are there, Alzheimer's Orange County. And that's their table there with that. What causes Alzheimer's? We talked about these lifestyle risks, diet, nutrition, and all that. What actually causes Alzheimer's? What builds up in the brain of Alzheimer's patients? Plaque. Plaque and tangles, right? What's the name of this plaque? Amyloid plaque, right? Amyloid beta. Every patient with Alzheimer's have this plaque in their brain. 100%. If you don't have the plaque, you don't have Alzheimer's. Very simple. If you don't have the plaque, you don't have Alzheimer's. If you have Alzheimer's, you have the plaque. Straightforward, right? Have you guys heard of the word tangles? Yes?
Just to help set our minds at ease a little bit though, I read many years ago, after age 35, about 300,000 brain cells die each day. Some of them carry away memory.
After age 35, 300,000 brain cells die a day.
Average day, and some of them are going to carry
Some
away
of them carry memory.
So I'm just saying, just because we can't remember somebody's name that we knew that hasn't come up for a year, we say, oh, I can picture them, but I can't remember the name. That doesn't necessarily mean Alzheimer's. It just means brain cells.
So good question. Is memory loss normal as we age? Right? Is memory loss normal as we... How do you tell normal memory loss from not normal memory loss? How do you tell?
It would be short-term versus the long-term.
Short-term versus long-term.
I mean, what you described, we're losing the short-term.
Yes, we lose the short-term first, right? So the memory loss that's normal, because we all lose our memory, right? I mean, sometimes I walk out and I'm like, where did I park my car? And often this happens more than once a week. And, right? And so we all have memory loss. The memory loss that's normal is that memory loss that's normal is intermittent. Unpredictable. I've lost my memory today, I forgot something yesterday, or three days from now. It's intermittent, not predictable. The memory loss that is not normal is progressive. Because the amyloid growth is progressive, right? It gets worse. That your memory loss today is worse than it was 6 months ago, and it's worse than a year ago because of the amyloid buildup. The other thing is that it starts with short-term memory loss, and it goes backward. That memory loss is not normal. It starts short-term, backward, and progressive. Make sense? Short-term, backward, and progressive. Yeah.
I have a question. So if we as individuals all have like different number of fat cells, for example, do we all start out with the same number of brain cells?
Do we all start off with the same number of brain cells? On average, most of our brains are around the same size. Because the human skull is only so much, right? There's only certain standard deviations. On average, we all have the same number because of the size of the human skull, compared to like fat cells, right? With that, which varies based on obesity and things of that sort. But the brain is only what 3% of the body's weight. Only 3% of the body's weight is our brain. The brain takes up 25% of the circulation with each heartbeat. Each heartbeat takes up a quarter of your blood circulation to your brain, although it only weighs 3% of the body. Isn't that crazy? By the way, let me ask you a question. What causes plaque production? What causes plaque production?
Inflammation.
I heard inflammation, I heard sugar, flour.
It's a defense mechanism.
It's a defense mechanism. Yes, yes, yes. What causes plaque? How many of you guys have been in one of my lectures before? Oh, okay. Those same guys answering the questions. I'm just kidding. Right? And so there are actually over 30 different factors that lead to plaque production. Over 30. Maybe it's why it's an epidemic. It's like, how do you stop 30 things from coming at you, right? It's over 30 different things. Now, rather than giving you 30 different factors, because you're going to run out of writing space, right? Out of note space, I'm going to simplify it for you. These 30 plus factors fall into 3 different categories. They fall into 3 different categories. I call them buckets, like 3 different buckets that catches plaque, right? And if you know the 3 buckets, you basically will know what causes plaque production. Bucket number 1 is the circulation bucket. The circulation bucket. What that means is anything that causes poor circulation to your body, to your heart, also affects the brain. And we know that because if we took 10 patients with Alzheimer's, out of 10 patients with Alzheimer's, 8 of them will have high blood pressure. High blood pressure is a circulation problem, right? If I took 10 patients with Alzheimer's, 4 will have diabetes. Diabetes is actually a circulation problem. When we think about diabetes, the first thing we think of is sugar, right? Blood sugar and all that. But the end result of diabetes, of what kills a diabetic, why diabetics die, is circulatory. Diabetics die from heart attacks and strokes. It's the sugar that destroys the circulation, that messes up the circulation, but really it's the heart attacks and the strokes that causes the diabetic to die. So 10 patients with Alzheimer's, 8 have high blood pressure, 4 have diabetes, 3 have heart disease, and many have high cholesterol. Many have high cholesterol, because what does cholesterol do to your circulation? Right? The circulation bucket, really huge. You know, we have a clinical trial at my office that's really interesting. It's one of our popular ones. So you've been in the hospital, for those of you who are in the hospital, and you've seen those leg compressors, right? DVT prevention, those leg compressors. At my office, we have these leg compressors, but not just at the calf, it basically wraps your whole entire leg. It wraps your whole entire leg. And in between each heartbeat, and patients come in for this, oh, did I kill it? So we have like these massage tables, and patients come in, they lie on the massage table, and we wrap their legs up, and in between each heartbeat is a compression. So heartbeat, leg squeeze, heartbeat, leg squeeze, heartbeat, leg squeeze. If your heart was beating 70 times a minute, we're squeezing your legs 70 times a minute. Why are we doing that? Why is it a clinical trial? And why are patients signing up? By the way, this is available for you guys too, and your candidates, right? We do it for free, at no cost. So patients come in, they lie there, they get their legs squeezed for an hour, and then they go home. We're doing it because every time the blood is squeezed out of your leg, where is it going? 100% to the brain. 100%. Because what happens is that in the brain of patients with Alzheimer's, what happens to the size of this brain over time? It shrinks. Why is it shrinking? Brain cells are dying. Brain cells are dying. Circulation issues. We believe, and this is a clinical trial in my office, guys, we believe that if we can pump blood up there, right? Every time your heartbeat, we're pumping blood. up to your brain. We believe that if we can improve circulation by opening up collateral circulation, by opening up channels of blood flow that wasn't there before, by providing additional oxygen to your brain, additional nutrition to your brain, by washing out inflammation, washing out toxins in your brain, we believe that we can prevent your brain from shrinking. This is a clinical trial. We do it at no cost for our patients, so people are coming every day to sign up for this. And how do we prove that? We prove it by doing before and after MRIs of your brain, where we measure the size and volume of your brain before your treatments. You do the treatments, we do another brain scan later on, like a year later on, we compare the size. Circulation is bucket number one, huge. By the way, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you know, participating in clinical trial or brain scans or things of that, I think you have a little, what is that? Oh, Melody's holding up this little blue half sheet, right? It's just really your name and your phone number, and you can see us at no cost. It's part of what we do. Yes? What's the name of the compression machine? It is the same compression machine we use when we send patients for cardiac rehab, EECP.
Yes.
It is the same exact machine. We're just looking for a new indication for Alzheimer's. It's already FDA approved for heart disease. When you can't put a stent in or you can't do bypass. I've been sending patients this machine for over 10 years for heart. Now we're doing it for brain. Now we're doing it for brain.
With vigorous walking, the work is the same?
Yes, exercise does the same thing. Exercise does the same thing, guys. We're basically artificially exercising you because Americans don't exercise enough. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? But, so bucket number one is the circulation bucket. Bucket number two is the inflammation bucket. The inflammation bucket. What does that mean? Is inflammation a good thing or a bad thing? Bad. I heard good and I heard bad. Why is it good?
Well, it's your body telling you that something's wrong.
Okay, so it's good because Mariana says your body telling you there's something wrong. Yes. It's like, I don't know, if you have the flu, what's one of the first symptoms of the flu?
Fever.
Fever is simply inflammation, right? Because your body gets hot, right? Your body's inflamed. A fever is simply inflammation. What causes a fever? Right? A fever or inflammation is simply your immune system defending itself against the bad guys. Make sense? Your immune system defending itself against the bad guys. So anytime the immune system sees, I don't know, a virus, like the flu virus, or a bacteria, or a toxin, or something it doesn't recognize, right? Anything that the immune system does not recognize, it views as a threat, and it attacks it. In the process of the immune system attacking a virus, a bacteria, a mold, a toxin, a chemical, what is created in that process of attack? Inflammation's created. Make sense? So inflammation is not necessarily a bad thing. It's part of your immune system defending itself.